Greetings to everyone. Before I formally start the discussion, let me introduce first myself. I am Maria Julieta Dudalo and I'll be teaching English subject with a topic about prose. And in this video, I will be going to use paraphrastic approach. Paraphrastic approach allows teachers to use simpler words and sentence structures compared to the more complicated ones in the text. Now, let's proceed to our main topic. Good day, students! How are you doing? Okay, that's good to hear. But before anything else, allow me to introduce myself. So, I am Maria Julieta Dudalo, or you can call me Miss MJ, or anything you want. And today I am your English subject teacher. And of course, before we start our class, let's have a prayer first. So I want a volunteer to lead the prayer. Okay, Miss, what's your name? Okay, Miss Jail. Please stand up and let's start. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Okay, before we start our class, I want an energy check first. So, raise your hand with a thumbs up if you are still okay, or what's your energy for today's subject. Is it very okay? I am almost tired, or I'm not interested. Okay, a lot of people thumbsing out. So let's proceed to our topic. Our topic is all about prose, and there are 3 things you will acquire. And oh wait, I forgot. I will check your attendance after our class discussion, and please remind me because I might forget to check your attendance. Okay, let's go back to our topic. So there are 3 things you can acquire in studying this topic or this subject. Okay, the 3 things you will acquire at the end of this lesson is, first, you will be able to develop your English language ability. Yes. And the second one is you'll be able to know the correct pronunciation, the correct stress, intonation, pause, and the articulation of voice. And the last thing you will acquire at studying of this lesson is you'll be able to acquire new vocabulary words. You'll be able to enjoy reading and writing. Okay, without further ado, let's begin. To better understand our topic about prose, it is important to understand the difference between prose and poetry and how it is distinguished from other styles of writing. So I know that some of you still confuse the difference between the two. So who among you here still get confused the difference between the two? Don't be shy. Raise your hand because we are here to learn. Okay, thank you for raising your hands. Prose is what? It follows structures that makes through sentences, phrases, and paragraphs, while poetry follows a specific rhyme and metric structure. And then prose it is a type of writing that follows a flow more similar to verbal speech and communication. Then poetry, these are often what? These are often lines and stanzas within a poem. I know that you're familiar already how poem looks like. Then the other difference between the two is that prose, this makes the best style of writing to clearly articulate and communicate concepts, stories, and ideas, as opposed to the figurative style of poetry. Poetry utilizes more figurative and often ambiguous language that purposely leaves room for the reader's analysis and interpretation. Okay, again, prose is a direct writing. It's like a conversation, while poetry, it has lines and stanzas. And this also use what? Figurative speech or unclear language that leaves us reader analyzation and interpretation, because you cannot understand the poem without understanding it. I have two examples here. So the prose that I use is the prose poem, because you might confuse again what is prose poem, why there's a prose poem. Okay, let's have the poem first. Try to look at the physical appearance of this example. So look at, I will read to you the poem. The good daughter, disobedient, disrespectful, disorganized, she was a mess. They cleaned her up, taught her to obey, to be quiet, to be neat. She swallowed her voice and moved silently through the world. She was nice, reliable, compliant, and complacent. When they gave her a knife, she made a precise, straight-edged wounds. If you're just going to read this, do you think you will understand the words? Do you think? What's your answer? Okay, no. That's how poetry. It needs a deep critical thinking. It needs an analyzation. And try to look at this one. It has a rhyme, a metric structure, like this, to be quiet, to be neat. There's a rhyme between the two. Also, it has a lines and stanzas. Okay? Do you understand? Okay, that's good. So, this one, again, prose and prose poem. Jumping on the merry-go-round, I scramble for a place to sit. There are kids scampering under my feet as the ride makes its first jerk ahead. The ride makes the dust come alive while slowly turning circles. You need also an analyzation for this. But the difference is that it's a paragraph forms and it's a direct to the point. Do you understand? Okay. Okay, the next part of our lesson is the types of prose. There are 4 types of prose: the non-fictional, the fictional, the heroic, and the prose poem types. So, here's the 4 types of prose. First is non-fictional. So, non-fictional is a body of writing that is based on factual and true events. So you cannot use information without any proof, or let's say without any consent to your target information. So here's the examples of non-fictional. So the newspapers, magazine, biographies, and etc. We all know that the content of these examples, the newspaper, magazine, and biographies, are all what? They're all true. They are all proven in a true to life situation. Then fictional. So this is the opposite of the non-fictional, because non-fictional are what? This type of writing is written by the imaginations of the authors, or written in a writer's imagination. So these are the examples of fictional, the novels, short stories, or novellas. And I know that some of you also read this kind of literature or this kind of written works, right? Okay. The next is the heroic prose. So heroic prose is a work of writing that is meant to be recited and passed on through oral or written tradition. And the example of this heroic prose is the fables, legends, and mythology. Next, the fourth types of prose is the prose poetry. It is a poetry that is expressed and written in prose form. Okay, I already give the example of this prose poem, and I hope you are listening well. Okay? And also you understand our discussion. Okay, this type of poetry often use figurative language, but usually it is written in a what? As I've said earlier, it is written in a paragraph form. Okay? Did you guys understand our topic? Okay, alright. I have a copy here about the gift of the Magi, a short story, and this is an example of a fictional prose. And this is only a summary. And I will read this and I will give you a copy so that you will be able to read or to follow what I am reading. So here, please pass it. Okay. I will read and please follow me. Follow me silently. Okay, I will read it now. Here's the summary of the short story of the gift of the Magi. So the gift of the Magi is a well-known short story by American short story writer O. Henry and the pen name of William Sidney Porter. The story first appeared in the New York Sunday World on December 10, 1905 and was later published in O. Henry's collection, The 4 Million, on April 10, 1906. After you heard the story of the Magi summary, what are the other values that do you think others need to hear? What are these? I want a one representative, at least one. Okay, right. Very good. Okay, you may sit down now. So, the story of the Magi teaches us how to value people and how valuable of loving and caring for others. And also, the couple sold their very loved possession, that in order to buy something, they sold it. Even it has a sentimental value, they still sold their possessions in order to what? In order to give a gift to each other. Reminder, doesn't mean you don't have a gift or something to the person you love one. Doesn't mean you don't love him or her. Sometimes you don't need immaterial things to prove your love to your loved ones, because being kind and loving to them or being caring to them is enough gift that you can give to your family or to your loved ones.